Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lizzie. This is going to be my pregnancy update video for weeks 29 to 33. I'm already a mum of one. My son Constantin is 4 next week, which is crazy. This is baby number 2, and Stan actually came at 35 weeks, so it's starting to really feel like the home stretch now. Hopefully I'll get to week 37 because I'd really like to have a home birth, and week 37 is considered full term. Maybe I'll get to week 42 and be enormous and grumpy. Let's see what happens. If you don't already know me, I am a surface pattern designer. So I design patterns and have products like notebooks and cards and wrapping paper, pouches, tea towels, trays. There are some coasters on the way, prints, all of those sorts of things. And then I'm also a coach. So I coach other creatives in building businesses that they love and that suit the life that they want to live, and also earn them the money that they want to earn. So that's what I do. There are some links in the description box if you're interested. But today, let's talk pregnancy. So I continue to be enormous. I will show you that first, I guess. So yeah, it's really big baby, really big belly. So that's where we're at. As I was saying last week, I've got some stretch marks, which I didn't really have last time, but they're not looking horrendous or anything, and it doesn't really bother me, it's worth it. But they are feeling like a bit sensitive and tingly where the skin is obviously like being pulled. It can feel a bit unpleasant if I kind of brush it on something. Sometimes it's a bit like, ooh, like it feels like the skin's a little bit too thin. So that's not that enjoyable. What's going on for me at the moment though mainly is I'm feeling feeling big and my lung capacity being reduced. I am noticing that I'm finding it much harder to exercise. So if you've been watching all of these videos along, I talked quite a lot about an app that I use called Expectful, which I love for meditation, but also for workouts. Still loving it for meditation, but I haven't done like a proper workout in a few weeks. I think when we went to the Lake District, which I talked about in the last video, I was expecting to be able to get lots of walking done, and then actually I couldn't because everything was quite downhill and that was really pulling on my tummy. And actually the uphill stuff, the workout stuff felt fine, but it was the going downhill. And I don't know if it just coincided with timings of I've gotten bigger and it's more towards the end, or whether I actually got a bit unfit that week. But I am back here now being able to do my 5k a day walking again. But I'm finding by the end of the walk I am quite like, whew, I'm a bit knackered now from that. Whereas before that was like a basic standard thing that I could do and it not be a big deal, and it made me feel better, not out of breath or worse. Whereas now the thought of doing like all of the like knee standing squats and crab walking back and forth low down in a squat, I think I need to try and brave it, but I don't feel fit enough to do it now. Like I feel like I would be really out of breath and would lose my balance and be quite cumbersome. So I need to try and not be scared of it. I need to keep doing my walking, but also I said a while back I might try swimming. So it feels like maybe now's the right moment to try swimming, because although, you know, you do you, whatever works for you, I personally feel like I want to try and stay active right to the end, because then my body's feeling fit and well prepared for birth, which is obviously quite a big physical task. So I want to be kind to myself, but I also want to be doing things that are going to help my body prepare. So the other thing I'd like to do, I'm going to do a bit of research into some really nice stretching exercises, because I think that would help as well with like limbering up a bit more, because I am feeling a little bit sort of stiff and huge. The other part of that story, which is tricky, is that I've redeveloped the super sweet tooth that I had near the beginning of my pregnancy. And so just like cake and biscuits and chocolate and things like that is becoming like a daily norm, which is not great. So today I have actually, this afternoon, rather than just being like, oh, let's get an iced bun, which my mum would be more than happy to go and buy me because she's gorgeous and wonderful. But instead of doing that, having made the healthy lunch, rather than saying, okay, let's have something unhealthy, I've made myself a smoothie because obviously I am allowed and supposed to have extra calories, but rather than having them in processed food, I'm trying to have them in sweet and enjoyable food, but that is natural. So this is an oat milk based smoothie. It's got frozen spinach, it's got banana, it's got strawberries, it's got peanut butter, and a medjool date. So it tastes quite sweet, but it's full of spinach. I'm also, as I've mentioned, needing to get more iron into my system. So it's filling because of the banana and the peanut butter, but it's also sweet and delicious because of the date and the strawberries. So hopefully I can kind of get back to being a bit more intentional in that way and trying not to just be like hobnobs. So that's the plan. The other thing I am ingesting is this stuff. So Spatone, this is what my midwife recommended me. This is the iron supplement I was talking about. And so I have 2 of these a day. They're sachets. I was expecting it to be more like kind of Lemsip or something like that, that it's powder and you pour water into it and then you drink it, which I was thinking, oh, it's just going to be disgusting and really, really rough. But actually, this is iron-rich water already with vitamin C, and it's in apple juice concentrate already. So Sophie, my midwife, said we want you to be taking vitamin C as well, because when you take vitamin C, you ingest, I don't know, you have the iron goes into your bloodstream better, like it properly takes it in. So I have 2 of these a day, and actually it's a really small amount once it's in a glass, so you can just pour 2 together and it's still like a tiny glass of apple juice, basically, like slightly strange tasting strong apple juice, but it's fine. So if you have an iron deficiency, basically I bought a pack of 28 and normal people who need it have 1 a day, but pregnant people have 2. So I've just started that process in the last few days. Hopefully at the next appointment my midwife will say that my iron levels are a bit better. And then the other things to talk about are, I'm starting to get a little bit of back pain. I hope that it's not going to be too big a thing. I had that thing where I was talking through with Dan how lucky I felt that I hadn't felt uncomfortable in a while now, since we've been home from the Lake District, and more able to kind of have the normal lifestyle that I have and use my birth ball and go for my walks and be like sleep in my own bed and get enough sleep. And but then I was saying to him, you know, it's amazing that I'm so short and my tummy's so big and I haven't had much back pain. And then like an hour later I developed all of this back pain, and that came from doing my 5k walk and being out and about, and eventually it just started aching. So again, maybe swimming is going to be good, but I'm going to keep doing my walking. Nothing really major to complain about. I feel like I'm quite lucky. As I say though, everybody just thinks I'm enormous, which is fine, but yeah, let's see if the bump just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, or if I just stay this kind of enormous size and it levels out. We will have to see. But yeah, I think that's sort of everything for this week. I'm going to talk to you more next week, having had an appointment with my, oh no, it'll be the one after that I'll have had the next appointment with my midwife. But one more thing I wanted to say is I had a really good talk with the lead of the home birth team at the Homerton on the phone over the weekend, and I'm feeling really, really good about that decision to aim for a home birth, and really, really good about that team of women, and really excited for potentially getting to have a birth, or at least labouring for a long period of time in a way that feels really comfortable and safe and at home. And each one of them that I speak to is so on the same page as me in terms of their thought process and birth, and I feel really akin to them, and it feels really natural and right. My experience, unfortunately, in hospital was that I was quite a problem, and that I wasn't made to feel that we were on the same page at all. So it feels really, really special to have this opportunity to potentially give birth in a way that feels like you're on the same side as the team. But more than that, yeah, I also in doing the hypnobirthing, I'm really loving the Positive Birth Company. We're getting more into that and starting to read the scripts and actually doing the stuff rather than just watching the videos. So I'm feeling very positive and not scared about the prospect of giving birth. I feel like it's going to be a really special experience, and I feel really blessed to be getting to do it for a second time in a way that feels more intentionally aligned to my values and my personality. So that feels major. That's feeling really, really good. But I will fill you in with how I'm doing next week. Thank you for watching, and speak to you soon. Hello. So week 30, there's actually not that much to update you on, and I think part of that is just because it's been Stan's 4th birthday this week, so I think I haven't been massively connecting with or thinking that much about how my body's feeling. I've just been cracking on with organising and getting everything ready for his birthday, so it's not been quite a normal week, and I haven't had those slots of time that I might have used for myself in the same way, like any little extra windows of time. I've been like wrapping presents, baking things, la la la. So there's not lots to update you on because I don't feel like much has changed. I'm being a good girl and having my additional iron. That's the supplement that I mentioned. I haven't managed to do any proper workouts, but I have been still trying to get the walking in. But it's pretty consistent now that from lots of walking, or lots of walking, but like making an effort to try and get 5Ks in, I get a sore back, lower back, and my lungs feel about this big, so I get very out of breath doing everything now. Like even conversations, I get a bit out of breath, so that's kind of weird. But I have been doing lots of meditation. I actually found, so I've talked to you lots about Expectful, but another app that I have is called Flow, and I've been looking at that more again, and that was really useful for using, well, really useful, I don't know. Was I using that to conceive? I can't actually even remember. Can't quite remember why I got Flow, but it might have been about tracking periods and stuff. But it's actually really good, and it's got lots of really lovely recipes, like pregnancy, healthy, good for you, giving you all the nutrients you need recipes, meal plans and stuff. It's really good for that. But I've also discovered a meditation course on it and a yoga pregnancy course. So I haven't actually done any of the yoga yet. It's really nicely styled, actually. It's quite beautiful. The background's like there's a woman on a mat, but then the background's all pink and it's got these cool shapes. It's actually very like the way my photographer or the photographer who photographs my products, Ben Franklin, does stuff. It's kind of like styled like his stuff, so it's really beautiful. So I'm hoping to do some of that this week. I haven't done it yet, but I'm feeling good that I found it because it looks like that's going to be good stretching, like gentle enough but proper. So I'm going to do some of that, and I think this weekend I am going to try and swim. So I haven't managed any of the like working outy things, because also I've noticed now actually by basically 4 o'clock I am knackered, and it used to be in the evenings when Dan got back from work at like 5:30 I would then like do a workout, and like it's not gonna happen. So if I'm gonna try and find, I could do like yoga at that sort of time or even swimming, but like proper like a workout, if I'm still capable of doing that, I'm gonna need to see if like I could do that on Mondays and Tuesdays and at the weekends in the morning when there's somebody else here and I can do that more easily. So I'm gonna still give that a go. I'm not giving up on the more like cardio-y things, but I've had to accept that like 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's not the time that I'm gonna be able to do that, because by that point I've usually got a stitch up my left hand side, my back's normally aching and I'm normally just spent. So it's just kind of, rather than giving up, it's tweaking how my routine works and where I can find space. And the other thing that I'm aware of is the fact that last time I was pregnant, I had like monthly reflexology and massages, and I haven't done anything like that this time. And I wonder if it's time to do a bit more exploring of trying to find someone who could do some reflexology, because I loved that last time and I hope that would really help. So I'm going to do a bit of research into that as well. But yeah, that's it. As I say, not loads to update you on this week, but towards the end of this week I've got my next midwife appointment, and I've certainly got in place like lots of plans of things that I want to try and how things need to shift, because I think I've come to the end of a season of how things were working well for me and gotten a bit stuck and now need to try some new things. So I feel like I've had space in my head to think about that and work out what to do next this week, but I haven't had time to implement that. So hopefully when I talk to you next week, I'll have had a chance to try out some of those things and tell you what's working and what's helping. Sorry, siren. And then the last thing to say is that I am just feeling, and actually I've left this to the end, but this is the biggest thing about this week, that baby now feels like my baby and a baby. The way he's moving around and engaging and sort of elbows poking and being there, it really feels like I've got my baby that I'm going to meet in a few weeks in my tummy, and I can chat to him and he's already here. And it didn't get like that with Stan because I'd never done it before, and so you don't know the reality, whereas I feel like the baby's big enough now and developed enough now, and it just feels like, well, there's a full-size baby in there. Like, so chatting to him and connecting with him has felt really lovely this week. Like, it's the stage at which in the pregnancy now it's just like, yep, I have a baby, he's just living in here at the moment, and that feels really lovely. So I'm really grateful for that. And I will speak to you again next week. Hello, let me fill you in on week 31. It's been an interesting week. I'll come to where it kind of went off course, but I have had my midwife appointment, and at that stage everything was cushy. So that was on the Thursday, and that all went really well. My iron is much better, so I'm just having my spitone, but I now, rather than having 2 every day, only need to have 1 every other day, because it improved so much that it's basically normal now, but they don't want me to just completely drop off. So we're like doing a gradual reduction, and if there's a problem they need to up it again, the next blood work that they do will tell me, but that's literally as much as I need to have, like every other day now. So that's easy. The thing that's less good about the results from that blood work was that my sugar was really high. So they want to retest for gestational diabetes. Hopefully it was an anomaly. It was a really early morning appointment. She came at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was knackered. So at like 7:30, Stan had woken up really early, and so we were quite tired, and at 7:30 I basically had a bowl of like Rice Krispies with tons of sugar on it, which is not my normal breakfast. So she says there's a chance that that could be enough, that it would have just given a really weird reading. Hopefully it is that, but it might not be that. I might have gestational diabetes, which is a bit of a killer. I'm not looking yet too much into the impact that that would have on my birth choices, because I think it's not that helpful to know that when we don't know yet if I have it or not. Oh, that's the boys coming home from the park. So yeah, that's kind of on hold. But it was a good appointment, good meeting with Sophie, our midwife. On the Friday, we saw very special friends in the evening that we hadn't seen for 2 years.
Mommy!
Yeah? You got apple flavoured yo-yos?
Yes, and some of the way home.
The boys are home. So, yeah, as I was saying, we had friends over for dinner. We never have anyone for dinner anymore. It was so special to see them because they left 2 years ago in a rush, in and amongst all of the COVID madness. And we were having such a gorgeous time. And we got about an hour and a half with them. And then Sam woke up covered in puke, started being sick. And we cleaned him up and sorted him out and got him back to sleep. And they stayed. And then he woke up half an hour later and puked again. So unfortunately we had to say, like, I think this is like our night now. So they had to go. We literally spent the night taking care of Stan, and he was sick every 20 to 30 minutes for 12 hours. So we were all just, well, actually he kept drifting off in between, but that's not really proper sleep, is it? If you get like 10, 15 minutes each chunk. So that was fun. We then got it quite soon afterwards. So we had a window of time where we were thinking, are we going to get it? Are we not going to get it? Our symptoms aren't as bad as Stan's, and then it all kicks in. So we've had quite a long period of time now of the family being sick. It's Tuesday now, so I think that we're doing better and we can start going back to normal, but it was it took up a lot of time and energy, us all being ill. So there was definitely no swimming at the weekend. That did not happen. There've been no workouts and all that stuff. So it set me back a bit on my intentions, but obviously like it needed to, and we just all been taking care of each other. But I'm hoping now this week I can get back to like a bit more of an even keel of working out how am I going to be best taking care of myself and the baby through this last phase of pregnancy. And one of the pluses is that my husband found through a clothing shop that we love called Hub on Church Street, someone who works there is actually a reflexologist and focuses on pregnancy reflexology as well. So I've been in touch with her and making a plan to see her. She's at the moment like offering little like half an hour slots for only £30. So I'm going to take one of those to like test out if I like it, because I loved my old reflexology person, but she stopped working and then I tried someone else and I really didn't enjoy it at all. So it feels good to be able to test it out with like a halfway house one. But fingers crossed she'll be great, and that can be something that I could be doing regularly again. She's based in Dalston, so that's really easy. So fingers crossed, like that feels really good. So I'll let you know how that goes once I've put one of those in. But otherwise, that's the update. I will let you know what happens with the diabetes. I really hope that I don't have diabetes. But let's see what happens. I will fill you in next week. Hello, let's talk about week 32. I do not have gestational diabetes, so that is awesome. My midwife has got some time off. Her mum's visiting from Australia, so a different midwife came and did the blood work, and that was good in itself. Actually, that happened while it was really good that she could come when mum was here with Stan, because doing bloods in front of Stan wouldn't have felt right. But also I haven't had blood taken in ages without Daniel being there, and it was completely fine, and I felt really confident and safe and happy at home. So hopefully that's a good sign for home birth, that being at home just makes it completely different and less medical. And it went, having the blood taken went really well. And then within, I think, less than 48 hours, like 36 hours, she'd gotten back to me, this other midwife, and just said it's a completely normal reading. So we're very confident that the kind of anomaly reading that was the problem reading was because of that super high dose of sugar that you had half an hour before having blood taken. So please don't do that again. So I'm not going to do that again, but that's such a relief. So just can completely forget about that. That's not going to have any impact on the rest of my pregnancy or birth. So that's really good. And I've also had a reflexology appointment that was amazing. So actually the woman that Dan had found for me, in the end, she couldn't do anything for a few weeks, and said, but I'm happy to get something in the diary for a few weeks time. And actually I said, although it would be awesome to see you, I'm 32 weeks and the baby could come early because my last one did, and I really want to start doing something regularly, so I don't really want to wait 4 weeks to see you. Which she totally understood, and she recommended somebody else that she knew who is my reflexology person who I'd lost touch with. So I got to go and see Cordelia, which was amazing. So yeah, I had a session with my favourite reflexology person ever, and it went really well, and it was gorgeous, and it was on Checkerwell Lane, and so it was like a half an hour walk from home. Had my appointment like 5:30, so Dan got home at 5. I walked there, had the appointment, walked back, was home before bedtime, so could still do all of that. So it worked perfectly. So I'm going to do that every 2 weeks basically till the baby comes. So in a couple of Fridays time, I've got another appointment already booked in with her. So that felt so good. Like it was so relaxing and helpful, and has got me in quite a different mindset at last of now needing to start sort of looking after myself and doing things for myself that aren't just, obviously reflexology is really good as well for the baby and positioning, and it's a good thing to be doing in pregnancy anyway, but it's also just something that I really enjoy and I really love, and so I'm looking for ways to do more of that sort of thing. And I'm still working and enjoying the work that I'm doing, but I'm looking at how that's going to wrap up more so. and how I'm making more and more space for looking after myself and taking the windows of time that would have been for work and potentially replacing them with things that I just want to do that are not work, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's reflexology and no gestational diabetes. Stan hasn't been sleeping very well the last few nights. I think he's either having a growth spurt or something's going on, but normally when he gets into bed with us, he just goes straight back to sleep. But he's getting in and needing like settling and then waking up an hour later, and I'm needing to resettle him. So I'm not sleeping as well. So I've been actively like going to bed really early, which has helped, so that it doesn't matter if the night's a bit more thrown off. But my sleep in terms of being pregnant has been fine. I'm not experiencing the pregnancy insomnia that I did last time, so I'm really grateful for that. But I'm just trying to get the sleep in case that changes or if I get more uncomfortable. So yeah, trying to get lots of rest in, using my yoga ball more, just in terms of like by the evening I feel like things are quite tight and uncomfy and most chairs aren't ideal, so I'm quite often now like eating dinner on this this is my like work chair, which is in a way more comfy than the dining chair, so that's getting carried through. And then once it gets to like watching telly or doing our hypnobirthing stuff, I'm quite often on the birth ball. And I think it is at last time that I really need to start trying to do this spinning baby stuff. I haven't started that yet. I'm saying it to you almost as a reminder to myself to like make myself start so that I can talk about that next week. I did try the yoga course on flow that I mentioned, and actually it wasn't for me. It didn't feel right. The suggestions of the ways to move your body weren't movements that felt good, and I think that's such an important thing, isn't it? If you're doing any kind of exercise or stretching online rather than with a teacher in person, it's really important that you can be intuitive about whether that is a movement that feels right and feels like a good stretch or feels uncomfortable. So I tried a few of the gardeners for the communal gardener outside, so you can probably hear them like mowing the lawn. Not very good timing, they've just started. But yeah, I felt good about trying and then saying, actually no, this isn't what I need, this isn't right for me. Still hoping to get some swimming in. Didn't manage that this weekend because of other things that were happening, but I hope if I keep banging on about it, eventually I'm going to try the swimming thing. But I have done lots of walking, so that's felt really good. And there is a workout that I'm going to try on Expectful that I'm feeling might work for me. So yeah, I'm gonna, it's really annoying that they've decided to mow now. Right under the window as well. I'm sorry guys. Other things that have been going on is that our bedroom is now completely ready for baby. So we've got the little cot, like the crib, the bedside crib ready, and I've added some shelves and styled some bits, and that's all feeling really good. So that will probably actually be my next video after this one, is showing you how we've like updated our bedroom to get ready for the baby. But I'm feeling like in full-on nesting mode and really enjoying doing things like that, and that's, I think, giving me like extra energy and purpose, and feels really nice. As it is at the moment, I'm able to hold quite lightly the fact that I'm basically almost at 33 weeks now. Stan came at 35 weeks, so that could happen, but in an ideal world that won't happen, and we'll get to 37 weeks and then we can have the kind of birth that we would choose rather than have to be hospitalised because of it being early. But then also, some people get to like 42 weeks, and I've never been that pregnant before, and so it's a funny space of not knowing when it's going to happen. And of course that's how everybody is, unless you're having a planned C-section. But I feel like particularly there's a lot of people are asking at the moment, because I'm so big, like, when is it coming? And it's so funny that people ask it so much, because obviously nobody even knows when it's coming, and they're like, oh, but I just want to know what your due date is. And it's fine, and people can know my due date, I don't have a problem with that, but it's also not when the baby's going to come probably. So yeah, I'm sort of wanting to, I feel like I'm better at holding it lightly in terms of how I feel about when it's going to happen, and that being okay that I don't know. But I think it is maybe slightly irritating it being the only thing anyone wants to talk to me about. But yeah, I'm really enjoying having this time as time to not tie up loose ends even really. I thought that it would be in my work tying up loose ends, and it's not that. It's just really enjoying doing the intentional things that I really want to do, and looking forward to the time that the baby comes and that I'll have off, but also looking forward to the bits of work that I'll continue to do once the baby's here. It's all feeling very like fluid and good and light, and yeah, it's good. We're in a good place. I'll let you know how I'm getting on next week, but yeah, next video I think will be showing our bedroom and the little changes that we've made to get ready for the baby, and I'll continue with these and nesting, and there's living room updates coming soon as well, so lots to share with you, and I will speak to you very soon. Thank you for watching.